Every mid-handicap golfer often says to me that they want to have a little bit of a nicer iron, a little bit more of a sleeker iron in their golf bag, but always end up with the hollow body design, the bigger cavity backs. But today we're going to put that to a test. We've got an affordable iron that I found on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, the Toura Split Step CB irons, but we're going to put them to the test with mid-handicap Dave here, because there's a couple of things here in this golf club that could be perfect for Dave and getting that golf club with a bag appeal that isn't a hollow body club. And we've got the man, the myth, the show dog back in town. We've got Dave, who's obviously the classic mid-handicap golfer. Dave, you've been saying to me that you would like to maybe one day get back into something like a CB looking iron, and could this be the answer?
I'd love to. These are really nice looking irons, in fairness.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there'd be an head covers in my bag, but in the normal person's bag, you know, these look absolutely lovely, don't they?
Normal person. Yeah,
well,
look
yeah.
Fantastic. Obviously down behind the golf ball. Dave's going to have a look at those now. Obviously, we know that he's got a little bit of a thicker top edge on his hollow body Takomos, but that there looks pretty similar, Dave.
Yeah. The only thing that would slightly put me off are those markings on that...
on the ferrule.
Ferrule, is that what it's called?
I believe so.
Well,
it's been a long time since I did the PGA, but I'm pretty sure it's a ferrule.
That would just put me off slightly, but other than that, down at the ball or down on the floor, they look absolutely cracking.
Right, well, let's give this a go then, Dave. 140 yards here. We've got the 8 iron. This should be the right club for you. A little bit downwind, but big things here. We've got minimal offset on there, but the main thing is they've gone a little bit thicker with that top edge and got a little bit more weight in there for more forgiveness, and that's what everybody wants, maybe when they're trying to get into a CB. Fantastic.
Felt nice.
Flight there from Dave. So nice and high there, just getting onto the front edge. So interesting straight away there, Dave. A good flight from a CB. You were probably thinking it might go a little bit lower.
I wasn't expecting that height. I really wasn't. I thought it would come out low, which tends to be my what I do. So that's quite surprising, is that?
Yeah, and they're not too strong lofted these,
no.
So pretty good. Let's get down there. Let's get the pitching wedges just short, so we'll have a chip around the green with the pitching wedge. They're not in there. They're actually in my bag today. And the reason they are in my bag at the moment is because what Dave likes to do is drive off without giving me them back, and I may never see them again. So obviously that's maybe what he did with James Robinson's driver when he put that mark on the top, which has been mentioned on his channel quite a lot recently.
You know that I did that when I was with you, Chris. That was at Flamborough.
I can't remember.
And you told me, you said, your very words were, see how high you can hit it, Dave.
I might have said that, but I don't think I meant it in the way that obviously putting a sky mark on the top of that. But yes, guys, these clubs are obviously coming in around about $800, so I know it's around about the Black Friday time at the moment when we're filming this, so they are going to be probably discounted on the website. You can get them just with the heads, or you can get them made up with shafts. Obviously, they are big in the custom build scene, but one big thing for me is obviously you need to take into account is import tax. I did buy these clubs and had to pay the import tax, which was £72. So again, not a great deal on a full set of irons, but it's something certainly to take into account if you're thinking about budget on these. But you can get them with the Toura logo on, which I think does look fantastic, or you can get them blank, which I think again gives you that little bit of a different look in your golf bag. But it's all down to performance, which we're going to talk now around the greens. So we're going to go with a pitching wedge here for a bump and run and put it to its test. Obviously Dave mentioned there, obviously on the tee, wasn't sure about the ferrule. That's again a custom option that you can change with these clubs, so when you're building them you can get them exactly how you want. It's something a little bit different. That's what their standard one was, to go with obviously this nice blacked out finish with the white logo. But Dave, pitching wedge, let's do a couple of bump and runs here. Obviously we know these have got minimal offsets, so they're very similar to your Takomo irons, and this is where obviously with that little bit offset for me and that thicker top edge, it could suit the mid-handicapper. So far, we haven't tested the 4-iron yet out here, but so far, performing pretty well for you. That's a fantastic chip again.
Yeah.
Again, felt nice and, well, it sounded very soft,
It
Dave.
was lovely and soft.
Yeah?
It really was, yeah.
Obviously feel for that. We're going to get in the simulator after this, guys, and put it to the test with the actual numbers. But out here, performing well.
My fault, not the club that, Chris.
No.
Just didn't quite catch it, but
No.
still felt all right.
Let's get in the simulator, let's see some numbers with these clubs before we get the 4-iron to the test out here on the golf course. So into the simulator, let's test this for numbers. So Dave said obviously with his Takomos we'd normally hit in his 8-iron around about 130 carries, so we've got it set up at 131. He's liked them out on the course so far. Certainly likes the looks. Nobody likes to see Dave's balance, but has it reached there? Yeah, exactly. Carried 124, gone to 135. So exactly what he was seeing from his Takomo. A nice ball flight there, Dave. Obviously, like we said on the golf course, not
too
low.
What? It's a lot higher than I normally get, which I'd be pleased about any golf club.
Yeah, which is interesting because it's a CB, so you think it's for the better player. It's going to launch lower. But
What are you trying to say?
Dave is a fantastic player. But nice launch on there. And again, feel-wise, Dave, in here still feel solid?
Yeah, I like him. I thought the top line might put me off, but it doesn't. It's not really that much thicker than my Takomo. So
yeah, and that's it. It's comparing it to what you've currently got, which is interesting. You've got that CB look again. Bag appeal, they do look fantastic, these clubs, but then we are getting the forgiveness, which is why I think these could be a fantastic option for a lot of golfers. Again, pretty similar fly, and 125. So two of the best shots I've seen.
2 yards between them.
Two of the best shots I've seen Dave hit for a long time.
Long time, if or ever.
So let's go third time's a charm. Let's see if we can do it again before we go up into the longer irons. We know Dave's taking the longer irons out of his Takomos at the moment for the winter for the 11 hybrids. Let's see how he does with the 4-iron.
That felt a bit lower.
A bit lower on the face, but again, let's look
go,
at this
maybe.
consistency.
Oh, no.
They've all landed within a yard of each
look
other.
at this.
Fantastic dispersion, Dave. Let's see if it's the same with the 4-iron. So here's the 6-iron again. Fantastic looking in the golf bag. A nice, obviously, little step there on the back, and that's why we get that thicker bottom edge, and we get a little bit more forgiveness out of these. But 4-iron, Dave, let's see. Do we get the launch with the 4-iron? We're 165 yards out here. Obviously, we know there's 2 bunkers at the front of the green here on the simulator. Not putting that in your head.
I'm going to say you need to work on your motivation again, Chris.
Again, that's a good ball flight.
Yeah.
Is it there?
It is in the bunker, like, but...
Ooh, 153 carries, so it would have got the distance, obviously, without the bunkers, but pretty good ball flight, Dave.
I was happy with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, really
let's
was.
Let's go again, then, because, again, ball flight pretty solid.
If you look at the
there.
tracer, you probably can't see it on the camera, but if you look at the tracer, it's really quite good.
Yeah, nice mid-trajectory, not too low, which we know Dave had a problem with his previous irons where maybe it would come out a little bit too low, but
yeah,
good flight on these, even for a CB.
Ooh, that felt low.
Again, that was a little bit of a missed strike from Dave, which we're going to expect from a mid-handicap golfer. But let's go one more, Dave. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, some would say. Rest in peace, Meatloaf.
Bit of meatloaf, yeah.
The only concert I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah, Meatloaf.
Where?
Sheffield.
Oh.
Yeah, fantastic night that
Was it? Get you? Only ever been to one concert in your life? You haven't
Yeah.
lived. Great balance knot.
I've seen a few turns in the old working men's. Right, 150 yards there, guys. So exactly what we'd expect from Dave's 4-iron, but we know, like we've mentioned with these clubs, one thing to take into account, great value for money, $800. I know there's a Black Friday sale on today, which unfortunately the video won't be going out today, but they'll still be probably active. But you do have to pay import tax, and that's one thing to look out for. I had to pay £73 to get these out of customs. Let's get back out on the golf course and see what Dave thinks. So interesting numbers there inside with the Toura iron, certainly consistent for Dave, obviously, especially with that 8-iron. The 4-iron maybe not as much, but we're going to put the 4-iron to the test now out here. So par 4 here, Dave's going to hit a 4-iron, then he's going to hit his 4 hybrid, which he has got in his golf bag at the minute, because he did take his 4-iron out from his Takomo 101Ts. So it'll be very interesting to see how it performs out here. Again, a little bit more forgiving, a little bit thicker top edge. There's a good launch there for Dave. And you'd say that's a pretty good penetration ball flight, Dave.
Quite happy with that.
Yeah, that's gone some good distance there, very easy to launch. Let's jump and get your hybrid now, Dave. And like we mentioned with these tour irons, the lofts aren't too strong, so they are, again, more traditional lofts here, so obviously it's not trying to become a power bat, even though it's got the forgiveness. So very interesting setup from this company based in Canada. And that's a misstrike with the hybrid.
Yeah, it's
and
off
again,
the toe.
lower fly, so it shows there, Dave, doesn't it really? Especially with the mid-handicap, it all comes down to you're not going to hit the same strike every time.
Hardly ever.
But both of them weren't struck fantastic, but the iron, interesting enough, did come off a little bit higher than your hybrid.
Yeah, it did, which is a surprise because, you know, normally you'd expect the hybrid to be higher.
So guys, very interesting clubs there from Toura again. I'm certainly going to be testing them against Dave's Takomo for looks and obviously for feel. Can they perform as good? Because they're very similar, obviously, price point. Direct to consumer, you can get them on the website. Certainly a brand for you to look out for. And again, if you are in the US, maybe, I don't know if you pay import tax from Canada, but again, you're going to get them at a good price. They certainly look great performance-wise. They perform fantastic for me. They've performed exceptionally well for Dave, very consistent with them. And if you're a mid-handicap golfer looking for something like some CBs instead of having a hollow body design, then these could be your answer.